Hello everyone. In this video, I will be talking about the Pythagorean Theorem. So the Pythagorean Theorem was made from the Greek philosopher Pythagoras in ancient Greece. And before we talk about the Pythagorean Theorem, let's just review the types of triangles. So there's three types of triangles: equilateral triangles, isosceles triangles, and scalene triangles. The first one I want to talk about is equilateral triangles. So, in an equilateral triangle, all three sides are of the equal lengths. And because of that, all angles are also equal. Why is that? Well, because if you take one angle, like this angle over here, and you widen it, like you widen the angle, then you'll see that this side over here is turning longer. So basically, this angle affects this side. And so the angle is affecting the opposite side. So that goes with this angle. Will be affecting this side. And this angle will be affecting this side, the base. So basically, you can see that the angles are dependent on the sides. And that is why all the angles will be will be equal. So since they're equal and since all triangles, the angles have to add up to 180. 180 divided by 3 will be 60. So each angle is 60 degrees, like that. Now let's talk about isosceles triangles. So an isosceles triangle has two sides of equal lengths. And an isosceles triangle, these two angles will be same, since these two sides are of equal lengths. So if we say that this angle on the top is 90 degrees, then these two angles will have to be 45 degrees. Why? Well, because since all the angles have to add up to 180, 180 minus 90 will give 90 for these two angles. And since they're the same, 90 divided by 2 is 45. The last triangle is scalene triangles. Now, scalene triangles are all three sides have different lengths. So equilateral triangles had all three sides at the same length. In scalene triangles, they're all different lengths. So those are the three triangles. And the Pythagorean theorem only works for right triangles. That is very important. It only works for right triangles. And equilateral triangles cannot be right triangles. They have to have 60 degrees. But isosceles triangles and scalene triangles can be right triangles. This one, in fact, is actually a right triangle. This isosceles triangle over here. So now let's go over right triangles. So in a right triangle, this rectangle over here represents a right angle. It has a triangle has three sides. Like all triangles have three sides. This side over here is the hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse is opposite the right angle. So as you can see, it's opposite the right angle. These other two sides we call legs. And in the Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, c represents the length of the hypotenuse. A would be the two legs. A and b are the two legs. These are called legs. Now, let's do a simple problem to show how you can solve a problem using the Pythagorean theorem. Let's say that A is equal to 3, C equals 5, and B equals X. Or basically, B is unknown. So we want to solve for B. So the first thing we're going to do is substitute the values of A and C with 3 and 5. 3 squared plus X squared equals 5 squared. The next thing we're going to do is isolate X. Because whenever you're solving an algebraic problem, you want to isolate the variable you're trying to solve. And in this case, it's X. So we're going to subtract both sides with 3 squared. And if we can do that, we'll get X squared equals 5 squared minus 3 squared. Now we can solve 5 squared minus 3 squared. That's going to be 16. And 5 squared is 25, 9 squared is 9, 25 minus 9 is 16. And we still have x squared. To remove that square term, that's squared, we can take the square root of both sides. So the square root of 16 would be 4, so x equals 4. So we know b would be 4. So now we know that this right triangle is a 3, 4, 5 right triangle. And 3, 4, 5 triangles all have one leg is equal to 3, one leg equals 4, and the hypotenuse equals 5. So that's how you can figure out the extra side, the unknown side, with just 2 other sides known, using the Pythagorean Theorem. And it has much more uses. It's used all around geometry, or to be more specific, trigonometry. Trigonometry is covering the Pythagorean Theorem. And there's many proofs for the Pythagorean Theorem. And in later videos, I'll talk about these proofs. And that's it for this video. Bye-bye!